2 IUW, good evening. Taking on the call sign of Victor Kilo 2 Hotel Zulu Portable. The Blue Mountains Amateur Radio Club 2 meter net. Also on IRLP reflector 9501. No echo link unfortunately. And on Ustream as usual. Do a search for Ustream VK2 IUW, should come across me. First of all, I had a good week. Let's see if there's any check-ins for the Blue Mountains Amateur Radio Club 2 meter net. VK2 Hotel Zulu Portable. Quiet. Nobody around. Hope my microphone's working, I'm not talking to myself. BMARC.org is the website for the Blue Mountains Club. Go there, find out about foundation courses that happen every 2 months, and the upgrade classes which happen every Wednesday evening as we speak, no doubt. Upgrade to standard and advanced licenses, usually by Yarn VK2 FEB. Any callings for the Blue Mountains Amateur Radio Club 2 meter net, VK2 HZ Portable.
Audio would be nice, Phil.
Oh, that's a problem. I suppose audio would be nice. Hopefully I've got some audio now. VK2 Hotel Zulu Portable.
Whitney Hill, finally some audio.
Good evening, Wayne. VK2 FWAY. Good evening. My apologies. I don't quite know what happens there. I've swapped radios. Now on my 847. This is VK2 Hotel Zulu Portable, the Blue Mountains Amateur Radio Club 2 meter net. Now with audio. Any further check-ins? VK2 HZ Portable.
JDW.
Good evening, Lewis. Trust you well. Any further check-ins? Victor Kilo 2 Hotel Zulu Portable. There was a couple there, FNUT I think, and who was the other station? Good evening, Rod, TTL. Any further check-ins? Victor Kilo 2, Hotel Zulu Portable. Nobody there. Good evening, Wayne. What have you been up to with ham radio for the last week? VK2 FWAY, VK2 HZ Portable.
VK2 HZ Portable, VK2 FWAY. Not a lot, Hill. Must admit I've been taking it pretty easy. Just a few normal conversations around the place, and just a bit of investigating. Been out and got myself some cable and some connectors, I got some LMR 400 to throw under this other antenna, but it's still sitting here, so not too much has changed really on that front. Yeah, thinking about a few other different bits and pieces I have to do around the place as well, like putting earth stakes and things like that around. So I've been organising bits and pieces for that's about my last week since we last spoke. A VK2 Hotel Zulu Portable, a VK2 FWAY.
VK2 FWAY, VK2 HZ Portable. Yeah, okay, Wayne, not a problem. Some nice cable for your nice new antenna. That's always good to get that. Good to hear you're on your way. I haven't done any satellite operation this week. I don't think. Nothing. I don't think this week. I've been playing other stuff, doing a bit of HF work, few new countries, which is always good over the CQ Worldwide over the weekend. Didn't participate in the contest. Had other family stuff going on, but managed to work a few new countries, which was good. Been playing Whisper over the last couple of days with Alf VK2 YC and John VK2 YOC. It's been a bit of fun up on 10 meters Whisper, playing around with antennas and low power and all of that, and a little bit of broadband hamnet, just trying to get things working here, changing software and firmware and all of that, trying to sort out antennas and relocating antennas and so on and so forth. So lots of different things happening this week from a radio perspective, and it looks like I've done something to my 7100. I was using it for Whisper, so probably got it in a mode that I didn't expect and didn't have any audio. Round to Lewis, VK2 JDW, VK2 HZ Portable.
Yeah, VK2 HZ Portable and the group, VK2 Juliet Delta Whiskey. G'day to Bear Hill and everyone else on the side there. I've been on for a few weeks. We've had a lot of dramas and been working different times, so haven't been able to join the net there. But good to hear you's all on, and haven't done much in radio. Actually, haven't done anything in radio. It's been very quiet the last few weeks. Been away, too busy and tired, so it's work, sleep, you know what that's like. But I'll for the moment. Just sort of jump in and say g'day to everyone and have a VK2 Hotel Zulu.
Yeah, okay, Lewis, not a problem. You just dropped out at the end there. I was listening to you on the input, so you must be close to work. Are you around for a while, or you just arrived at work, Lewis?
No, I've got to go in a minute there, Hill. I was just under the freeway bridge, so that's probably why I dropped out. But yeah, busy. I've got 2 more nights and finally got a couple of days off there. Just paid the bob up in Gosford, just on the way to work, so I haven't caught him for a long time. But going around to help him put an aerial up in a couple of weeks. But yeah, it'd be good to get a couple of days off there. Anyway, I'll say 73s and hopefully catch you next week there, Hill.
Yeah, okay, Lewis, not a problem. Oh, that'll be good. Yeah, I'm put a few days off next week, from next Friday, not this Friday, next Friday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Got a few days off for my wife's birthday, so thought we'd take a little bit of a trip away up around just north of you, actually, you and Bob. So maybe catch you up on your repeater up there if you're around. Good to hear you again, Lewis, and hope everything is okay. Don't work too hard this evening. Good to hear you. Thanks for calling in. VK2, is it FNUT? Good evening to you. Name is Hill, Hotel Italy Lima. I'm not sure that we've worked before. Welcome. VK2 FNUT, VK2 Hotel Zulu Portable.
VK2 Hotel Zulu Portable, VK2 FNUT. Yep, mate. The name's Glenn. Golf Lima Echo November. I actually got my foundation license probably 6 or 7 years ago with Terry, and unfortunately with this and that, I let my license expire, so I've actually just renewed it, and it came through last week. And I've actually had a friend helping me get going, get my antenna set up, HF antenna, etc. And I actually just bought this radio off another gentleman in Lawson that I'm talking on tonight, VK2 FNUT.
VK2 FNUT, VK2 Hotel Zulu Portable. Okay, Glenn, pleasure to have you with us, and welcome back to the fold. Wonder what sort of things you're interested in, and something must have brought you back into amateur radio. We'll pass it back to you for some intriguing comments. VK2 FNUT, VK2 Hotel Zulu Portable.
I don't know whether it'll be particularly intriguing. I guess things on the job front didn't exactly go quite as planned. I was in the printing industry for a long time, and as many people would probably know, it pretty much collapsed in a screaming heap. I did a whole lot of study at TAFE to retrain myself in networking and IT, etc. And unfortunately, we all know that when times get a bit tough, the first thing to go are the toys. So the radios I had, unfortunately, went to help pay bills for a little while. However, things are getting a little bit better, I guess. And to that end, I had a friend of mine has lent me a lovely old Yaesu FT501 to listen in on. And we've got an FT230R, but unfortunately it doesn't have a tone board. So I actually just won an eBay auction, actually, and ended up with an ICOM 880H, which is what I'm playing with tonight. And I found a place in the US that does a tone generator that I can adapt the FT230 to as well. So it'll become the little 2-meter bass thing, but the 880H will go in the car eventually. I'm waiting on some resistors so I can build a dummy load so that I can tune the antenna and move forward. VK2 FNUT in the group.
Yeah, okay, Glenn. Oh, that's pretty good. You're well on your way to that sounds like an excellent setup. I was just doing a search online. It's FT501, I don't know that one. FT230R. Just displaying that at the moment on the live stream on Ustream. So I'll have a look through those on the interweb, see what they are. But FT230R without the tone unit, and 880H. So oh, that sounds excellent. So another voice on the air, which is always a good thing. Glenn, welcome along. 2 meter nets are every Wednesday evening at 8 local, and Tuesday evenings on 80 meters 3543 kilohertz with VK2AAF. Welcome round to Rod. What have you been up to, Rod? VK2 TTL, VK2 HZ portable.
Good evening all, new and not so new persons. Hope you're well, Hill, and so everyone else. Just finishing on dinner. I have to go and put a cuppa on in a minute. And I'm only here to 8:30 because my show on TV starts then. Sorry about that. But HF now, that suffers 8:30 when they have the science show on ABC, so I tend to watch that as well. I think it was Catalyst or something like that. Tuesday night at 84. Me doing radio, not a lot. Tried to get on HF net last night, but I found out my antenna has an issue on 80 metres at the moment. And I was pulling it up and down the other day, trying to move some support ropes around. And before that, I think there was a bit of weather and things like this. Anyway, looks like the 80 metre segment on it is not fully functional. Looks like a 1.5 of it or something. It's not tuning up, because I can sort of see half tuning up and the other half isn't. Doesn't matter what I do with it, it doesn't seem to be effective. Although there's a DC connection, no RF connection. Anyway, considering it's only wire and coily bit of wire on the 80 metre section, helical. But yeah, so I've been trying to adjust the 40 metre bit because the 80 metre bit's out, it throws everything else out to the interaction. But yeah, so I've been playing with that. Late this afternoon, 40 is a bit close. 20 metres doesn't seem to be too bad on it. It's just not into effect, which is good for that. Other stuff, doing stuff on the house, painting, repairing, that sort of thing. Been doing that for some weeks now. So nearly finished that. And I've got to get into the shed a bit more and clean that out. So I'm going to do that too. So it's a spring cleaning, 10-year spring clean. House repairs and spring cleaning, clean up and brighten up and sell up and all that sort of thing. Time to sell up and move on. I've worn out all the old friends, trying to get some new ones there. Yours, VK2, HZ portable VK2s on field.
Yeah, okay, Rod. VK2 TTL, VK2 HZ portable. Yeah, not a problem. I didn't get on the 80 metre net last night. I got carried away. I was talking with Alf YAC and John YOC up on 146450 on Simplex, talking all sorts of stuff, but mostly Whisper, and playing around with Whisper on 10 meters, and lost track of time, and the 80 meter net passed me by, unfortunately. So I don't know who managed to get up to that. I was just looking at the 8080H. Glenn, I couldn't see it online. Why can't I see it? Did you say it's an icon? I couldn't find any pretty pictures of it. The 501 looks an interesting older device. I used to have an FTDX 400. Loved that radio. That looks like slightly older version of that. Looks very similar to that one. And I haven't looked at the. Did I look at the, yeah, the 230, the 230R. So, but I couldn't find the 8080H. Not sure. Maybe I was looking for the wrong manufacturer on that one. Anyway, we're down to the bottom of the list. Let's see if there's any further check-ins to the Blue Mountains Amateur Radio Club 2 meter net. You don't need to be a club member to join us. We'll take anyone. Anyone's welcome. VK2 Hotel Zulu Portable Listen. Nobody around. Must be something extremely interesting on the TV. Not quite sure what that would be. VK2 FWAY, VK2HZ Portable.
VK2HZ Portable, VK2 FWAY. Yes, I was just looking for an IC 880H. But yeah, they're out there. I can't find any pictures of it, find information about it. And there's an ID 880H as well, which is possibly a digital version, I don't know. But yeah, no, well, that's all well and good. And I'm just wondering, with Glenn, he said he found someone that manufactures a tone board. I was just wondering if that was, I don't know how they pronounce it, PIEXX, because I had to do the same thing for my FT736. I managed to get a tone board out of the US fairly cheap, and all well and good. It's a good piece of equipment, but yeah, it's looking fairly quiet tonight, Hill. Not a lot of activity around, but yes, it's all certainly quiet around here. Not a lot to report at all. As I said, I've had a fairly quiet week, apart from a few little odds and sods. I was intrigued. I went and had to get an end connector for the LMR 400, and of course LMR 400 has a special connector, and when I took it out of the packet, it's a Benelec connector. Yes, it's solderless. I couldn't believe you get an end connector where the centre pin is solderless. So I was a bit intrigued about that. So I'm still unsure whether I'm going to use it or whether I'm going to have to find something else. But I may just give it a go. But I've been in contact with a couple of people about antennas and things like that. And as I said, I've been mainly thinking about earthing, things like that. I need to drive in an earth stake, which I will probably do on the weekend. I'll duck down to TLE and get one, and then I'll connect up my everything the way it should be. The main reason for that was I noticed that with my filtered speaker, I actually generate, if I transmit on UHF, I actually come through the get me on to the rest. So it's all been a lot of looking and thinking, Kel. That's about it for me. VK2 Hotel Zulu Portable, VK2 FWAY. It's probably time to have the repeater.
No, not at all. Perfect timing, Wayne. No problems. Yeah, I mean, if it's breakthrough on the speaker itself, on the audio, not through the radio, then probably a ferrite ring or something, or as many turns as you can on the wire going to the speaker will probably sort that one out. Hopefully, bit of experimentation. I've got one where I had to do that, but I had to do it at both ends, one close to the speaker and one close to the socket on the device on the other end before it would get rid of it. So yeah, that's probably the first and easiest and cheapest thing to try to get rid of that. Either that or move the cables, move the radio, or don't go on the air. That's probably the easiest and quickest. But you probably don't want to do that. Okay, on the earthing, I reckon Rod would be the man to discuss earthing. To be honest with you, I don't have a station earth, and that's probably a terrible thing to say, but should have one definitely. But I don't, so I'm going to leave that one to Rod. I reckon he'd be the best guy. But he's going in a couple of minutes because his programs, important programs coming on, and I'm not sure about the solderless end connector. Maybe Rod would be the man for that too. I can't say I've come across a solderless inner connector on an end connector. Round to Lewis is gone. He'll be at work. Round to Glenn. VK2 FNUT, VK2 HZ portal.
The ICOM is actually an ID, D for dog, 880H. It's actually the baby brother of the ICOM 2820 D-Star radio. That was kind of one of the things that I found quite interesting. And I've got a mate who has the 2820, so we're going to play around with D-Star at some point a little bit. The company that makes it's actually not so much a tone board as it's an external tone generator, so it's a company in the US called ComSpec. They make a little tiny box for about $50 that you can generate the entire range of tones just by turning a dial onto whichever one you want. So the plan kind of was buy the little box, put a jack in the side of the Yaesu, because they give you a wiring diagram to hook it in, and so that I can, if I end up with more than one kind of radio that requires a tone, I'll have something that generates the whole lot. For 1480 metres, I actually have a G5 RV up that apparently is good for 160 down to 20, as I understand it, with a tuner. So that's why I've got that dipole up in my backyard. I have a larger backyard than most. So, and I've just bought a tuner for the Yaesu. So, but yet to make the dummy load. So I haven't been game enough to touch anything as far as that goes. And I'm actually in the process of building the club in Adelaide, I think it was. VK5JST made an aerial analyzer that I bought quite some time ago. So I've been putting some effort into finishing that off, and hopefully my workmanship is good enough for it to work. And hopefully I can start to play around with antennas and some bits and pieces. VK2 FNUT in the group.
Oh, you're a busy man, Glenn. Lots going on there. I still can't find an 8080H. I can find an 880H. Is that the one?
That's 880H.
Yeah, that's the one I found, the ID. Yeah, not a problem. Looks a nice radio. And the G5RV and the tuner and the analyzer. Yeah, I've yet to get myself an analyzer, and I really do need an analyzer, an antenna analyzer. They're all fairly expensive, and that one's not bad. It's what's that, just over $100 or something. The one from Adelaide from the club probably doesn't do go up at as high in frequency as I like it to, but I should still really have some sort of analyzer, which is going to make life a lot easier. So maybe one day I'll go and buy one of those. I have to sell some of this other stuff that I've got going on. Too many projects, that's for sure. Too many aspects to the hobby. Too much to do. We better put it round to Rod before he goes. VK2 TTL, VK2 HZ portable.
VK2 HZ portable, VK2 TTL. Just doing the washing up, mate. A couple of minutes to go yet. Grounding, I didn't hear the rest of it, but earthing. But my station here, I haven't really earthed it either. It's mainly because the earth is noisy and I've got a balanced antenna. I have run the earth between the radio and the tuners and those sort of things. So they're basically all on the same potential sort of thing. But when I connected the earth up locally, I got more noise, so I didn't use it. So that's the other thing you got to find. You might put your earth stakes in, but try it with and without an earth to see if you get more noise, because the noise is coming from all these switch mode supplies and all this sort of other rubbish, and it's pumping the crap into the ground, and you get a noisy ground, which helps radio just that much more. So yes, you might want to have a ground, but you have to think, are you using for a signal ground or using for protective ground? So they're two different types of grounding systems as well. So you keep your protective ground out away from your radio as well. As far as if you're using on house side points coming down, all that sort of thing, towers and grounding the towers and all that. Ground your towers is a good idea, because that might keep things a bit quieter. With all your shrinking and expansion joints and rustiness and all that sort of stuff. Sometimes it's good to actually, instead of relying on some of your bolts, to wire connect between, sometimes, depending on how it all goes together. Anyway, thanks Phil for running the net. I'm going to run off, and I'll hear you next week, if not sooner on email. VK2 HZ portable, VK2 TL. Good night.
Yeah, okay, Rod. Just before you go, and Wayne's other question, the solderless Benelec end connector. Any comments on that one?
I don't know about the Benelec. I've heard of the brand, but yes, you can get clip connectors, clip versions of the ends, and clip the inners and the outers. Usually, though, once they clip the outside, but you still got to solder the inside. Few of the ones we've had. Depends on the quality. You have to really look at the quality and that sort of thing, because if you're getting them cheap, if they're cheap, well, they're cheap. Understand that? That means the amount of opening and connection, the amount of times you can connect and disconnect is shorter. The amount of the measurements of it, how tight, close fitting they are between things, different. Some of them only will mate very well with their own connectors, others, and some of them work reasonably well with all the other different brands of end connectors. So and that could be connectors generally, but now it does apply a bit to ends. If you get a good brand, then even the good brands, some of the good brands, they don't make well one too well. But anyway, yes, you get a good quality, and it affects the thread and the mating ability. And you can get crypt inners and outers, but usually it's just the outers. You've got to solder the inners. A bit more mucking about, but you get a good connection. Usually, some people actually crypt. If you get the crypty inners, you crypt the inner, and then you put a bit of solder on it, if you can. Like for HF, it shouldn't be a problem, but for UHF, you want a reasonable connector. And ends have a 30 dB or better isolation than BNCs. In other words, you get 30 dB less leakage and so forth. Anyway, back to you, Hill. Good night.
Okay, 2NP.
Yeah, thanks, Rod. VK2NP as well. Good evening. Oh dear, my brain is dead. Cliff. Thanks for that, Rod. Yeah, I've haven't used a solderless center connector and end connector before. It's one I haven't come across or used in my journeys. So thanks for your input into that, Rod, and enjoy the rest of your evening. No doubt catch up. I'll sign you out. Good evening, Cliff, VK2NP, VK2HZ Portable.
Yeah, good evening, Neil. Hope everyone's well. Yeah, I've just come back sort of at the end, but anyway, still here. So I hope everyone's well. But talk about in connectors. Yeah, we used to do a lot of crimp connectors at work until we had the right tools and everything, which made it a lot easier. So, but they do certainly seem to work okay. So, and yeah, I would probably say the N would be better than BNC, although I do use the BNCs a lot around here, just for convenience, and they're easier to take on and off than an N. But and I'm generally running fairly low power at the time anyway. But yeah, all good. And what else was happening in the conversation? So I'll put back to you and find out what's going on. VK2 HZ Portable, VK2NP.
VK2NP, VK2HZ Portable. Yeah, okay, Cliff. Good of you to come up. Wayne was asking about solderless center connectors on end connectors. It didn't say crimp, so I'm assuming that it's not a crimp, it's just a push-on. I may be wrong there, but I haven't come across one of those. So, and also earthing of equipment. So Rob was asking, there are two types of earthing, either electrical or RF type of earthing. So yes, we had a chat about that, and Lewis has been up and now at work, and Glenn, who's back into amateur radio after 6 or 7 years being absent. Got his F-call back again, so experiencing lots of stuff with different radios and having fun by the sounds of it, Glenn. Anyway, back round to Wayne. VK2 FWAY, VK2 HZ Portable.
VK2 HZ Portable, the group, VK2 FWAY. Yes, Hill, just to confirm, no, it's not the actual number doesn't really come up. The number is 042042, and the number that comes up when you do a search is a 042042S, which is a solderless clamp alpha, which is, I guess, probably the closest thing, but nothing on how it's actually meant to be fitted. So it's an interesting one. I'm not really sure how I'm going to play it yet. Actually, I did. I just clicked on it and it's just opened it in German. Russia on it, English. But it looks interesting. I'll give it a try. But I just don't like the idea of not having the centre pin soldered. It's obviously relying on compression of it all being pushed together to tighten it down, but that's sort of, I don't know, that doesn't bode well for a good connection, particularly on UHF or VHF for my liking, so I may have to look elsewhere, but yeah, that's about on that. Yeah, Glenn, the analyzer sounds interesting, even though it probably does HF. Yeah, all well and good on the on ComSpec as well. For the tone box, that sounds like you might get some use out of that if you get other radios. And I was looking at the 501, it's a nice old looking radio. I'm a bit partial to older radios, so yes, that's good. G5RV, not much good for me because G5RVs work best when they're mounted flat, and I really don't have the room to mount a full G5RV. Horizontal, I need to mount an antenna, a wire antenna, probably in an inverted V, so I'll just use a half-point dipole for that. And back to what Rod was saying, yeah, I want a signal ground, not a safety ground. Yeah, my tower will be earth because the bottom part of it is buried 2 metres in the ground. Yeah, so that's about it. That's about all I have to say, Hill, for the moment. A VK2, Hotel Zulu Portable, and the group, a VK2 FWAY.
VK2 FWAY, VK2 HZ Portable. Yeah, okay, Wayne. Lots of different things this evening. Yeah, I wonder where you got the connector from. Yeah, maybe Cliff has got some experience in that regard. I certainly haven't seen one that's just a push fit for the center conductor on an end connector. Yeah, maybe Cliff has got some experience on that one. Round to Glenn, VK2 FNUT, VK2 HZ Portable.
VK2 FNUT, yeah, I'm pretty lucky, man. I've got a block in inner Sydney that's I have more than enough room for that G5RV to be horizontal. It's currently at about 9.5 metres high, but I've got to raise that a little bit for it to be right. So it's just a little bit low. And I'm just waiting to get some extension poles to move that up a little bit. And on top of one of those poles is a Diamond X200. So it gets really good reception even on 5 watts. I have a little Yaesu VX8 little portable that happily gets to the Blue Mountains repeater with that on just a couple of watts. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, the antenna analyzer I saw quite a while ago, namely years I guess, and at the time the MFJ antenna analyzers were $500 and I didn't have that sort of money to spend on one. So I thought, foolishly enough, that I'd give a shot at building one at least. And you're right, it is only HF. Yeah, I just thought I'd give it a go. I don't know how successful I'm going to be, but it's probably 90% there now. So I'm hoping maybe this week I'll get it finished off and fire it up and just see whether I've buggered up or whether it works or not. VK2FNUT in the group.
Yeah, okay, Glenn. That sounds all right. I've looked at that device a couple of times and thought, should I get that? It would be a little bit of fun to build that. Yeah, I really need something for 2 meters and 70 cms as well. But yeah, you never know. I should really have something for at least HF, and the price is right. That's for sure. It's a very good price. Yeah, I couldn't fit a G5RV in here either. I haven't got enough horizontal space, the same as Wayne. My antennas are inverted V's, mostly half-wave dipoles for various bands. But for 80 meters, I've got an inverted L, which is the only way that I can fit an antenna for 80 meters down here, unless it was a magnetic loop. And Cliff is the expert on magnetic loops. Want to know anything about magnetic loops? I think Cliff has tried them all. Yeah, I'm in Glenmore Park in Penrith, so right in the middle of suburbia. It's a challenge, but it's a damn good challenge. I enjoy challenges, as Cliff will tell you. Round to you, Cliff, VK2NP, because Rod is now watching his program, I think. VK2NP, VK2HZ Portable.
Yeah, VK2HZ Portable, VK2NP. Hopefully the audio is okay. I'll try the desk mic for a change. I checked it on FM, but should be okay. So I've got to change the mic gain on this rig from HF on sideband to FM on 2. It's ridiculous. I've got to turn the mic gain right up on VHF, but I've got to turn it right down when I go to SSB on HF. So anyway, that's the way it is. Challenges, tell me about it. I live in a villa, so it doesn't get much more challenging than that. But yeah, I've got a short inverted L at the moment with actually got another wire sort of extension to try and get a bit better signal on 80, and it seemed to work. I fiddled around on 80 tonight and it seemed to be working a bit better. I use a remote auto tuner in the garden. So basically it feeds up a squid pole across the yard. And everything's on tripods here because everything's basically temporary, so I can pull it down if needed. So yeah, it's about 7 meters high, so it's not very high, but it does alright. I didn't hear you around on the contest there, Hill. You must have given it a miss. There's some big guns out there, that's for sure. But yeah, a bit of a play, and I think I worked a few new countries, but didn't do too well on the points, looking at the other guys. But anyway, I was there for, I probably only did about 6 hours of total operation, I suppose, on and off. Mag loops, yeah, my mag loops actually down at the moment, so thought I'd try something a bit different, see how we go with quite like the instant QSY with the remote tuner I've got at the moment. I think it goes on with the N-type. No, I haven't seen one of those where you don't solder the center connector. Don't like the idea of that. The only connector I've seen like that is F-type, like they use for satellite and TV. The crimp ones don't have like a, what would you call it, sort of grabs it, and then the compression tool closes in on it, everything. But yeah, I've not seen an N-type where you don't solder or crimp. I think that's it. VK2HZ, portable VK2NP.
No, I haven't either, Cliff, but yes, there are others that know better than I in that regard. Contest, Seeker Worldwide SSB, DX SSB on the weekend for those that went aware. No, I didn't do anything at all really, Cliff. I had some family stuff going on, so wasn't able to contest. But I did manage to find a little bit of time to work a few new countries, because there were a few there, as you would be well aware. So I spent an hour or so just tracking down any new countries that I could hear with the propagation that was around at the time that I was available. So that was a little hard, but managed to work a few new ones. So that's always a good thing for the country entity total. But other than that, I didn't do any contesting at all really. So I'll have to rely on the Oceania CW, no, SSB contest. Yeah, what's the next one? VHF, clubs looking for interested people for VHF field day, which is the spring field day, which is in, what, 2 weeks time? Something like that. Anyone interested? I won't be available, unfortunately. I've got, again, I've got family stuff happening, so I won't be here. So if anyone's interested, get on the list and make it known to Alan, VK2ZIW. Any check-ins to the Blue Mountains Amateur Radio Club 2 meter net, VK2 Hotel Zulu Portable? No, nobody around. We'll make this the last one. Back to the top of the list. Just Wayne, Glenn, and Cliff, and we'll call it an evening. It's an evening. VK2 FWAY, VK2 HZ Portable.
VK2 HZ Portable, and the group VK2 FWAY. Yes, and the dilemma. Cliff's thoughts was exactly the same as mine with this end connector. But I just don't like the idea of not crimping the centre connector and then relying on the thing being pushed together with compression because it all screws together from the back to push it together. But I just don't like that idea. So, but it doesn't seem to be a great variety of plugs available for LMR 400. That's the problem. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'll mull over this problem for another week or so and see what happens. As I said, I'm going to put up a dipole because I don't have 2 points to mount an inverted L, and I'll just mount the dipole as an inverted V. It's quick and simple, and that's only for 40 and 80 anyway. As the Yagi is okay, it covers the rest of it. So, and I've been in conflab with someone else about another UHF antenna, but I'll see what develops with that one before I go too much into that. It's actually, Cliff, you made me laugh when you said you don't know how your audio is. When you come here, I've never heard it anything but immaculate. But yes, and yours works different to mine because on this radio, I need to turn it down for the desk microphone, the mic gain, and not up. It's quite the opposite, I guess. So it doesn't sound as harsh. But I think I should be around next week. I'm not sure. I'm coming up for another dose of night shifts. I have to consult my roster and see what transpires there. But if I'm not here, then you can rest assured that I'll be sitting at work listening on my trusty little handheld, a VK2 Hotel Zulu portable, a VK2 FWAY.
VK2 FWAY, VK2 HZ portable. Yeah, okay, yeah, Wayne, not a problem. I wonder if any of you are near a computer with internet. Can you try and get to the Blue Mountains Club website, BMARC.org. I don't seem to be able to open it at the moment. It seems to be timing out. Getting an error connection reset. You may have a problem with the website, so I appreciate anyone to just go along there and see if it's loading. Thanks for coming up, Wayne. Always appreciated. Yeah, there's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us, 6 including myself, so that's alright, that's not a problem. We've had less. Last few weeks have been fairly good, so it's a good sign. No problems at all. And Glenn, you're always welcome. Please come back. We'd love to hear what you're up to and what sort of things you're doing, and answer any questions maybe that we can to help you out. Good to see and hear new blood, although you're not so new, are you, after 6 or 7 years? VK2 FNUT, VK2 HZ portable.
You're correct. The BMARC website appears to be down again. It's actually happened a few times in the last few weeks. I don't know whether it's the service provider that hosts the site or not, but I can tell you it's not loaded right now. It did earlier today, but I was on there earlier today because I am looking for bits and pieces. One of the things that I'm hunting for is a telescopic tower. So I'll just wait, and I'm sure at some point one will come along. I had actually started. Terry was running a course when he was around that I was going to up in I think it was Glenbrook. And I really enjoyed Terry as a teacher. He certainly had such a passion for this hobby and such an astonishing knowledge. And he was never ever too busy to answer questions. There was never a silly question. It was just, he was such a joy to be around, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one that thinks he'll be sorely missed. But yeah, listen, I've enjoyed tonight. It was a lovely chat. And yeah, I'm sure that I'll be in future ones, VK2 FNUT.
VK2 FNUT, VK2 HZ portable. Yeah, okay, yeah, Glenn, not a problem. Pleasure to have you with us, and I'm sure you're going to the usual websites. VK Classifieds is an obvious one. There's a couple on there at the moment. I think it's ours, or have been over the last couple of weeks. So yeah, it's always a good source, and I know somebody at BMARC, or there was on the wanted for sale on the BMARC website. I can't remember who it was now. I'm not even sure if that's still available, but there was a tower, or I think a 2-section tower on there. They're always coming up, but most of them, a lot of them are not in VK2, which is a bit of a problem, isn't it? I can't exactly put it in the post. Thanks for dropping by, Glenn. Pleasure. And please come back again. VK2NP and the group, VK2 HZ portable. Yeah. I thought maybe, you know, the aerial had fallen down or something off the tripod.
Possible. The other day I had to lower them down because the wind got so strong. Thanks, Wayne, for the audio report too. Hope that sounds good. Yeah, no, it's just that this radio does, because it's basically DC to daylight type thing, 160 metres to 70 centimetres. And unfortunately, for some reason, there's no separate gain control for FM and sideband, which would be a nice thing. Anyway, can't do much about it. That's the way it is. Yeah, all good. And yeah, towers and things like that, can't do much about that at the moment, where I'm located. But yeah, there was a nice wind-up mast, which would have been perfect if I had the space, but not having the space, it was a tubular one. It would have been just the right size. I think it was about 10 metres. So, but yeah, they come up from time to time. Just got to keep your eye out, and yeah, as Phil said, it's got to be within a reasonable distance, otherwise it gets too expensive to move them. So yeah, but yeah, one day I might have one hill. Who knows? Yeah, might have a HSB one day. And they want him for a long time. So yeah. Anyway, good agreement, can't I? Anyway, I think you go call it a night, so I'll say cheers to you and to everyone else, and I'll be listening until you close it down there. VK2 H2 Portable, VK2NP.
VK2NP, VK2 HZ Portable. Yeah, okay, Cliff. Yeah, you never know. It'll never happen at this QTH, that's for sure. No, but it would be nice, wouldn't it? But you're moving, so maybe you'll over time you'll have a bit more space to put a tower up, maybe, or even a dipole. Okay, thanks to everyone for coming through this evening. It's very much appreciated. To Wayne, to Lewis, to Glenn, Rod, and Cliff. Thank you. BMARC.org when it's working, which doesn't seem to be working at the moment, which is unfortunate. So I'll probably just put a. Oh. Does it work? Oh, no. It's extremely slow. Loaded some of the resources, but not all of them. Next club meeting is on the 6th of November, Friday the 6th of November at 8 PM. Doors open at 7:30. Everyone is welcome. This is VK2 Hotel Zulu Portable, back to my own call sign at 9:05. VK2 Italy Uniform Whiskey. Thanks to everyone for coming up, and have a good radio week. VK2 IUW monitoring.